Greetings once again, folks. Welcome back to another Railroader video. Today we are looking at none other than the Chesapeake in Ohio Class T-1. Large man, a very large man for Railroader as well. And a lot of you always ask, is this a mod? This is indeed a mod. But with a lot of mods within Railroader, locomotive mods primarily, they're fairly easy to install. It's a matter of drag and drop within a file, and you're done. It's in game. You're good to go. So this thing, the C&O T-1, was created for Railroader from a combined effort from the gang at WNCRR and RC Rocket. Little whistle happy there, just waiting for that to pass. So this was a combined effort between the two. I'm sure a lot of you already know the WNCRR, a fantastic group of like-minded individuals that not only make some really damn good media. I love their videos, the way they're narrated, the way they look, the music's added, all that. I could never do that on my channel. So I am a bit envious in that regard, but their videos are fantastic, and they often cover not only their own stuff that they create, which they create a lot of fantastic stuff, but other people's stuff as well. So go and check them out. I'll link down below where you can go and find the WNCRR. They also have a Discord channel and a Railroader server. I don't know if it's currently open, but I just wanted to kind of plug it anyway because they have a realistic server of sorts. You got to kind of have a sense of the game and not be too big of a goofball and actually want to run a railroad. So go and check them out and see if you'd be into that as well. But anyway, that aside, RC Rockin' and the WNCRR both made this together, as with the articulated H6 that we got, I think that was last year. Now, the H6 was a neat locomotive within Railroader, no doubt, but it was RC Rockin's first model within Railroader, and fella has since learned a lot of things, because this thing is like, you know, not that the H6 was terrible, but this thing is on another level. It looks fantastic. It operates fantastic. The probably hour or so I've had to run around with this thing so far. Of course, we're going to get in a minute and take a look at it naturally. But the thing was built by Lima Locomotive Works, began in 1930 for a total of 40 units. White wheel configuration or arrangement, 210-4 with 69-inch drivers. A total weight of almost 1 million pounds, 981,000 to be exact. Max speed of 60 with a power output rated just over about 5,000 horsepower. An engine tractive effort sitting comfortably at 93,000 pounds-feet. Which was created, of course, by the 260 psi boiler pressure. These beasts were numbered 3000 through 3039, and sadly all retired, like a lot of these giants were, in the early 1950s, and pretty much every single one was scrapped. So finding almost anything about these is kind of tough. There's some stuff out there, but it's a tough nut to crack. Alrighty then, folks, we are in the game and we're going to take a look at this beast, the C&O T-1, and we have one of them sitting right behind us. And just a little side note, may have some more gameplay videos coming soon. I have pretty much restarted. We are now the Cherokee and Carolina Western, and I'm gonna try to keep it a bit more modern. So it's gonna be some, you know, more modern large fellas, a lot of diesels, things of that nature. Not gonna be completely steam free, but we're gonna kind of move away from some of the older, we'll call it Wild West era of railroading, and just more of the modern stuff. As of right now, I've only opened up Silva to Ayla, and I'm keeping the interchange at Whittier for now. But anyway, that's just a tiny bit about the new road we got going on here. Trying to lessen the amount of crap that I have on screen. on the game at any one time, you know, murdering my frame rate, etc., etc. And looks like our train here is finally coming to a stop. Should be coming around a bend any minute. There she is. I see the tender there. But anywho, trying to lessen the amount of rolling stock and locomotives that I got in my gameplay anyway. But let's open up this right here. So when you install the locomotive in the game, it's going to be labeled the C&O T-1. How appropriate, because, well, that's what locomotive this is. Shows you the tractive effort, factor of adhesion. It's got a large curve radius naturally, so this big old gal would be perfect for some coal operations. I've been told. Now, she was a flatland locomotive in real life, and they've kind of remodeled that physics-wise to be appropriate to a flatland type locomotive. But she can easily pull 6,000 ton. This train here, I think I've got about 3,000 ton. Most is empty. Just kind of messing around with that train that's on her right there. But anyway, weight empty, 256,734 pounds. That's the locomotive, of course. The tender, 74,000 pounds. 30-ton coal capacity. So you better have some coal guns set up at your refueling stations. Capacity 23,500 gallons of water. She costs 50 grand. So that ain't too shabby. Think of this as kind of like an in-game locomotive, or not. You know, go into the sandbox and order 50 of them. Do whatever the heck you want. But this thing is pretty much going to be the end-all be-all for everything you'll need on your railroad. You know, no matter what you do or where you do it, etc. All right, let's look at this old gal. First thing I noticed right off the bat, the modeling is fantastic. Again, the last model that came from RC Rockin' was the H6. And that was the articulated locomotive. And it was nice, but you could tell it was kind of early on in his modeling career for Railroader. And just looking at this thing as a broad view here, things have been learned. Things have been touched up. It is very, very nice looking. But right off the bat, one of the things you notice that looks very nice is that boilerplate, that interesting kind of boilerplate curvature that you can see on there with the bolts or the rivets. The number boards look legit and appropriate. It even starts in the number range that was appropriate to real life. You got your marker lights that you can change here between white and green. Let's go ahead and click on this bag, girl. There we go. Got your lights, which work as well. The small pilot or cow catcher on the front. Everything pretty much looks legit on this thing. The cylinders, the pistons look good. They have a nice look to them. Not, you know, super smooth and rounded, but just so. The rods look good as well as the wheels. You'll definitely notice the gigantic wheel weights on the drivers here. But the rods look nice. They don't look overly clean, but they're not overly dirty either. You know, I would say that I like my locomotives a little bit more dirty, if anyone's asking, but I know no one's asking. But if these were a little bit more greasy, hey, I wouldn't be mad about that. But they look pretty good as it stands. The drivers, I do like the drivers. They have that certain thickness to them, the realistic look to them. They don't have that crazy polished sheen on the rail touching portions, but they look good. You can really see the detail in the driver model there, the 3 dimensions. It does look very nice. A nice looking locomotive. You can see Lima plate on the side. Lima Locomotive Works Incorporated RM-2 Class T1 chassis. Even got the number range on there, 3001 to 3049. But overall, this versus the H6, mixing up my H's and S's there. This versus the H6, the weathering on this thing has been touched up big time. On the smoke box, primarily, you'd note, if you go back and look at the H6, you'll note the difference between the texturing and the upgrade and just how much better this thing looks versus the H6 on this. It's just a lot more realistic looking. I don't really know what else to say. The actual iron and steel and, the actual metal of the locomotive, the body itself looks very nice as well. It doesn't have that crazy overshine to it where it just looks like it's covered in baby oil. I know there's a Diddy joke in there somewhere, but it just has kind of a more flat, more appropriate look to it. Like this thing has been rode hard and hung up wet, and it looks very nice. I mean, just about everywhere you look, all the piping, the sheeting on the side, gigantic freaking sand dome up there. Jesus, the thing is massive. But yeah, this thing looks very good. I like the way the valves and the pistons, the little cylinder area look on this. Modeled very nicely. Also note the glow of the grate or the fire down here as well. That's a pretty cool, neat little feature. I don't recall seeing that on anything else in Railroader. To my knowledge, I can't really remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, but I don't recall any kind of glow like that, so that's neat. I don't know how it's emitted, if it's just like a texture, but it actually has a glow to it. It looks like embers. It looks like there's a fire going on under there. These things also had what was known as a booster, where the rear truck could be powered for some extra power. That's what this piping and all this doodad is down here, which is pretty neat. That was modeled correctly as well. That thing looks pretty damn spicy. And of course, the chunk-tastic tender. The tender on this thing is bigger than half of the locomotives in this game. And again, it looks great as well. The weathering on it overall, not too clean, not too dirty. It's got a little bit of a shine to it, which is just right. We'll go on the back of this old girl here and throw the light on the back, which works as well. You should be able to climb up the ladder here. There we go. Open the flappers. Always love the animation of some of these hatches. It's neat. You got your water texture down in there. We got your coal. A freak ton of coal. This is literally a coal gun's worth of coal. Maybe 2/3 of one. But we'll hop on the top here as well. You can open all these hatches too, which is pretty cool. Get some ventilation going in this thing, because this bad girl was hot. Trucking down the road. Got all your valves, your safeties up there. Got your sand flappers up there. Got the whistle. I do have a modded whistle and bell on this. That is the only thing that's not, that did not come with the locomotive overall. But damn, this thing looks good. It's a big locomotive, but it doesn't seem out of place in Railroader, really. I mean, it's not articulated, but that doesn't really mean much in the grand scheme of things. It's still, dare I say, a short enough wheelbase that it's, you're not really going to get into too much trouble with this thing. I've run it a tiny bit between here and Whittier and had absolutely no problem touching, 40 mile an hour around some of the crazier curves that squeal and whatnot. But man, this thing looks good. It is a looker. That is for sure. This has got to be one of the best looking locomotives in my eyes in Railroader as a whole. This thing right here is probably, not probably, easily top 5. Easily top 5. It's a damn good looking locomotive. This thing will have a home on I'm going to try and keep a quaint roster of this thing, but let's get in the cab and have a look around here. Climb up on the steps, yeah. Get our little trusty lantern going. Look at the back. See a tiny bit of coal coming out there. Can open that panel, which is neat. And there's your handbrakes. That's a neat little feature. A little hidden away. Okay, yep. Just go ahead and throw me out of the tender. That's fine. That's a neat little feature, though. Added to the model. The animation of the door and the handbrake in there. I think that'll just about do it for the tender. There's a lot of room in this thing. You could play ping pong in here. Or horseshoes, or whatever you're into. We're just going to click around and see what opens. This thing is a coal-fired locomotive, naturally. You got 2 seats over there, 2 over there. You can open the windows, as per usual. Here are your headlights. We'll go ahead and throw the front back on. I think these might be fusies or flares. They also may be the circuit break thing, brain fart. I haven't had lunch yet. It's almost lunchtime. I need lunch. So I'm not sure what those are. But overall, the interior of this thing looks pretty darn good. I like you can even see through that grate down there. That's pretty badass. Nice little touch there. Okay, very cool. Yeah, you can see the rocks down there. The rocks, the ballast. But yeah, the interior looks good. Exterior-wise, I wouldn't say it's on par with how good the exterior looks, but it's still very, very playable and very manageable. Plus, the lantern probably makes things look weird in here, but the thing is huge. We'll go ahead and pop a squat over here, see what it looks like. The animation is correct for sitting in the seat, which is nice. Got your brake stand down here, which looks very nice. Westinghouse on there. Got your reverser. Here, the dynamo kick back on. Like the animation of that. Try to whistle out. And a bell. Let's see, what else do we have here that we can mess with? Got our sight glasses. I don't think those are animated, but I don't think any of them are in Railroader as a whole anyway. Got your PSI there sitting comfortably at 260 naturally. But yeah, this thing's huge, man. You got a big crew, you got a big train, you can fit plenty of brothers and sisters up in here if you need to. Plenty. Hell, you could probably fit 20 people in here. But what a cool looking locomotive, man. The T-1 thing looks amazing. This is one of those locomotives where I see that the plate, the boiler plate up here, and I immediately think C&O T1. And that's like kind of one of the hallmarks of this engine, or the standout feature there. Animated bell. We'll do the exterior. Let me turn that lantern off. We'll do a little whistle test. That works appropriately as well. All right, so we got that one sitting there. Let's go run this big girl back down towards Whittier. We'll click on this thing, select. Let's hop inside. Go ahead and close that off. Let's check our bearings, our axles. Should be, yeah, it's only a tiny bit. So the oil thing, if you still do that, which I think you can turn off within the game. So these are still very good. I have them lowered in my game settings, so you're not doing it like every 2 seconds. But let's run this thing a little bit and see what it's like. So we got 3,432 ton, 122 cars, and she can handle it. It is not gonna take long at all. The biggest thing with this train and a train length like this is obviously going to be equalizing the brakes. So I'm going to leave the independent on, or at least the train brakes. You can see the needles doing their thing there, so they are animated. I even love that little bounce, which is nice, pretty legit looking thing. So it's going to take a second to air up, and we'll get on down the road. While we're airing up, just wanted to showcase the animation up here, which is pretty damn cool. That is pretty cool. I didn't realize that was a thing on this model until I got up here and started looking around. You can actually see them pistons doing their thing. That's pretty sweet. All right, let's get back in. We are good to go. All right. We probably don't need full forward on the reverser, so we'll drop it to like 80 and just give her a little steam. Open her up a little bit. Start coming off the independent. We'll just run this thing and see what she feels like. There it is. Ain't no thing. Yeah, you could easily. Now, mind you, a lot of these cars, most of them are empty, which is pretty insane. I will attest. But even with these empties at this length, you could double this and easily get going. I mean, this train would start off easily at probably 30% on the reverser. Let's Go look outside, huh? Big old drivers doing their thing. Animation looks nice. See the reverser animation, which is nice to see. We'll go ahead and drop it down. We'll make this thing work for its lunch. Driver animation certainly looks nice. Look at the independent animation. I actually see the brakes applying there. Cool little feature. Skirt. There we go. Yes, I am operating this thing like an idiot, as per usual. Even got the little spoiler up on the cab. Just little minute details like that, which look good, very good. Got your little kind of drain holes right here as well on the side plate. Very nice. Yeah, this thing looks incredible. This is, whew, it's probably easily one of the best looking locomotive models in the game right now. Hands down. Hands down. All right, let's go ahead and open her up a bit. Sounds good, but man, did I have the volume a bit loud. I don't even know if my voice is going to come through now, if I'm honest. It's loud, but it sounds good. Yeah, this thing straight chooches. This thing has no problem pulling this train. 3,400 ton, 122 car. Absolutely no problem. Go down here up the road, do a little run by. And a quick shout out to WNCRR and the gang for giving old Shawnee Poo a quick peek at this thing before the release. I believe the release is today or tonight, or probably already released post this video. So thanks to that, guys. I really appreciate it. Alright, we'll see how she handles some breakage. Do a little train brake. Jesus, we hit 45 just like that. And that was a super slow start. Super duper slow start. Now this is a long train. Kind of heavy, but not super duper heavy. A small amount of air getting put down. And it's slowing down appropriately. It feels nice. It doesn't feel overpowered or underpowered. Where'd the engine go? There we go. There she is. There's old girl. And there it is, just like that. That thing came to a stop. This thing is a nice looking locomotive by collaboration between WNCRR. I'll link their stuff down below, and RC Rockin' the Modeler. A collab which the likes of things like this come from, thankfully. A lot of research, diagrams, things like that, and then you've got a modeler and all kinds of stuff come together to make something like this, which I'm very appreciative for. That we have stuff like this to play within Railroader. Just add a little spice to it, just throw a little spice on it. It's like putting a special kind of cheese on a cheeseburger. I don't know. Sharp cheddar. I know that's boring, sharp cheddar, but you get what I mean anyway. But you should see, hopefully, a lot of this thing coming up soon. A new playthrough from this new save that I'm doing in Railroad. It's going to be primarily some of the more modern stuff with less locomotives, bigger locomotives, so you have to have less locomotives. But that is it, guys. I'll link down below where you can watch the official video that WNCRR made for this thing, which does a hell of a lot better job than any that I'll ever do looking at this thing and explaining everything about it. But it's fairly simple to install. You just drag and drop some files. There should be a README included with it. Tells you where you need to drop these files. But that is it, guys. A quick look at the old C&O Class T-1. Hope you found the video informative, and hopefully see you next time. Take care, guys.